Shri Hare Namaha. We shall begin with today's session soon, and Guruji will join us shortly. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha, Shri Paramaguru Bhyo Namaha, Shri Adi Guru Bhyo Namaha, Shri Mula Guru Bhyo Namaha, Shri Madhavada Tirtha Bhagavat Padacharya Bhyo Namaha, Shri Vedavyasaya Namaha, Shri Bharatya Namaha, Shri Saraswati Namaha, Shri Vayave Namaha, Shri Brahmane Namaha, Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha, Shri Narayanaya Namaha, Mokshaprada Shri Vasudevaya Namaha. कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरे परमात्मने प्रणतक्लेशनाशाय गोविंदाय नमो नमः कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरे परमात्मने प्रणतक्लेशनाशाय गोविंदाय नमो नमः हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे अविकाराय शुद्धाय नित्याय परमात्मने सदैकरूपाय विष्णवे सर्वजिष्णवे नमो हिरण्यगर्भाय हरे शंकराय च वासुदेवाय ताराय सर्गस्थित्यन्तकारिणे एकानेकस्वरूपस् चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो ग्रन्थमुदीरयेत् नारायणं सुरगुरुं जगदेकनाथं भक्तप्रियं सकललोकनमस्कृतं च त्रैगुण्यवर्जितम् अजमिमादिमेशं वन्दे भवग्नमवरासुरसिद्धवन्द्यम्
Hare Ram. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
Guruji.
Thank you. What is the subject of discussion today?
In the last session, we had discussed about the Shastras and the Sadhagamas and why certain Shastras were meant for deluding. So I gave a lot of references from the works of Srimad Acharya on that. So if we could continue on that, or we could take up another concept like maybe more about Swabhava and Andantamas, because this topic is also something which many are curious to know about.
Okay. What is Swabhava? Anyone would like to
Hare Srinivasa, may I speak, Swamiji?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yes. Swabhav is basically the set of fundamental qualities which form the eternal identity of a jiva, which determine all his leanings and tendencies.
Okay, it determines his leanings and tendencies.
Yes, and it is its identity. That is why Bhagwan does not change it.
It's not just that that's why someone doesn't change it. The very fact that something is someone's Swabhava, it's like if you have to change it, is that a weakness or a strength?
That is a weakness because you are killing the jiva, sort of.
Yes. Sorry, can you tell me again, Satak? Why is it a weakness?
Changing Swabhava, right, Swamiji?
Yes.
Because you are you are turning mango seed into a sugar cane seed,
Okay, but
which
why
is
is that a
totally
weakness?
different. It is like you're performing annihilation of that jiva and forming a new jiva because you're completely changing it.
But that's my strength, right? That I can annihilate anyone whom I want,
But
or I
then
can kartum, akartum, anyatha kartum. That is what is strength, to change things as I like. So why is
mm,
that a weakness?
but that thing would not remain. It would be a completely different thing.
Why does that matter? How does that make me weak?
Undermines compassion because a compassionate being might want to preserve the jiva if he
Yeah,
wants to be present.
God may be compassionate towards other beings, and in the light of his compassion towards millions of beings, he may see the need to change one.
Uh, yes,
So why is that not strength?
because it's not just change; it is annihilation, and that is
Annihilation, isn't that strength?
yes, but for a fair being and impartial being and compassionate being who is impartial, fair, and compassionate would not do such a thing.
Why?
Uh, uh, because see, the jiva wants to live, and it would be and that is how he wants to be, and that is how things are. To change that would be partiality, and that would also be a violation of the free will of jiva and also a murder of the jiva, which is unfair.
But
Or
God kills on a daily basis.
he doesn't kill in the sense that he completely annihilates. The soul of the jiva does remain and transmigrate.
Okay, so soul transmigrates, but then isn't the ability to kill the soul, isn't that a strength? Who can kill soul? Nobody can.
He does have the ability to, right, Swamiji? But he never does due to his own nature.
But why is that a strength? Why is that a
Strength,
quality?
strength is not always physical strength, right, Swamiji?
No, but we are talking about killing soul. I don't think to kill soul you can do it by physical strength.
Any sort of, like, not exactly physical, but any sort of strength is also in moral integrity or fairness. That is also sort of a strength. Great making quality.
No,
Sort
I'm looking for a better answer.
of. Yeah, let others answer Swamiji. I have tried my best.
Good that you tried. But I'm looking. But do you feel satisfied by your answer?
Somewhat.
Okay. Is somebody wants to attempt?
Hi, Srinivasa Swamiji.
Yeah, Rajeshri, please go ahead.
Yeah, so according to me, Swabhava means one's own nature, like the inherent characteristics of a
Yes.
being.
Yes. Correct. Yeah, you can describe swabhava like that. But the discussion here is why is it considered not a strength to change one's swabhava by God? If God changes somebody's swabhava, why would that not calculate as strength?
Swamiji, can I speak?
Yeah, you're speaking. Please go ahead.
Yes. Uh, as I understand, God respects our individuality, and He is Sarva Shaktiman, but He also respects the individuality of every soul. So,
Yeah, so
and
because of his respect, he suffers. He needs to suffer from some nature that he doesn't want to be.
but as I understand, Swabhava is also the natural disposition of entity. So, for example, if you take sugar, then it is sweet, and the sweetener itself defines the nature of the sugar.
Mm.
And if we change the sweetness of the sugar, then the sugar itself will not exist because both
So,
go together. So
okay, they go together, but when a person annihilates something, he doesn't want it. So, even if you speak about compassion and about integrity, so isn't it integrity that in the interest of, say, 1,000 people, one person has to be annihilated? Hasn't that happened in history so many times? Isn't that in the interest of a nation? There's what is that? There's a famous subhashita that says that in the interest of a house, the interest of one person can be given up. In the interest of a whole village, the interest of one house can be given up. in the interest of a whole nation, the interest of maybe one province can be given up. You see, so that is also diligent, intelligent, integrated, like with a lot of integrity, and that is wise to do so. So why wouldn't it be wise? Well, why wouldn't he be considered as strong for changing some swabhava?
Um, if nobody's answering,
Yeah, no, it's not that if nobody's answering. If you have to say something, please say. It's not that because somebody's answering or somebody's not answering, you don't say. It's not like that. When you
uh,
feel that when you feel that what you are knowing, or what you sense the answer, so then you should please put forward. Don't wait for somebody else to say or not say.
hmm. uh,
Yeah.
so I think because whatever damage the tamasika souls are causing, it is due to the karma of the sattvika and rajasika souls that they're causing that damage. So it is not unfair there that they get that damage.
Okay.
That-
So the question is, why is it not a strength for God to change someone's swabhava?
Vishnu,
In this world, don't we speak about that as strength? Like today, you go something, and even in Sanskrit, there's a saying that what is ishitva, kartum, akartum, anyatha kartum, samarthyam. That is samarthya. To change something as you want. You are seeing that in front of your house, you want a building. So now there is no building. So you put a building there, you change something as you wanted it to be. So then you're considered a strong man, isn't it?
yes, and Vishnu here has written very good answer in the chat box. If he wants to speak, he can speak.
Uh-huh. Who is it? Somebody typed an
Hare
answer, is it?
Srinivasa Reddy.
Wait, who is it? Vishnu. Okay.
Vishnu.
You typed an answer.
Yeah, Reddy.
How do I see that? Where do I go?
In the chat box. I can repeat it.
Wait. I'll just in call messages. Okay. Yeah. What have you written? Suppose a rebellious soul's swabhava is changed, then it becomes God's weakness as he becomes intolerant to that behavior. Who becomes intolerant?
Suppose God changes Swabhava of Jiva uh, according to what he wants, then it might become his defect that he is intolerant to rebellious. Is that right?
I didn't understand. Like who becomes intolerant? You're saying God will become intolerant. God will be seen as
God.
intolerant, or
Yeah, God.
yeah. That's a closer answer actually. But good. See, strength means that whatever the way things are, you're okay with it, right? Who do you say? Who you will have a way to manage things in the nature of things as they are. If you feel the need to change something, if you are not able to work with something as it is, then that shows a kind of weakness, right?
Yeah, God.
Like who would do that? You see, like sometimes you have got your video games. There is level 1, level 2, level 3, right? In many video games.
Yes, Guruji.
I've not played a video game till now. Which I have played when I was an engineering student, but ever since I've never played. The last video game I played was NFS, Need for Speed. But in video games, when you are there is level 1, level 2, level 3 video games. And then when you go to level 3, if you can't play level 3 because there are just too many things. When if you go to level 3 in Need for Speed, like the higher levels you go, there are more turnings on the roads. You can't handle that, so you come down to a lower level wherein you make the roads not so many diversions. and not so many obstacles, not so many vehicles on the road. You could just crash into somebody. So as the levels go forward, the difficulty level increases. So if you're not able to handle that difficulty, then you will change, in the sense that you would want to lessen the number of diversions that are there, maybe on the roads, or the number of cars that are plying on those roads. You would like to reduce that, maybe. So when you reduce, or when you change things as you want, then you feel comfortable. So is that a strength or a weakness?
Weakness.
That's exactly what is it. So somebody is the way that he is. So God, being all powerful, knows exactly how to deal with that. If he can't be managed, or if it can't be dealt with, then you have to annihilate or change that swabhava, right?
Yes, Guruji.
Can't means it is weakness. God, there is no can't for God. So he can definitely deal with it. And that is why he is not having to resort to something like changing somebody's swabhava or annihilating somebody's swabhava. The way they are, it's more than respect. He validates what you are. Is that what you are? Fine. I have an arrangement for you. Doesn't that sound like the statement of a strong man?
Yes, Guruji.
Yeah. So that's what I was trying to get it across, to communicate that God being strong, for him, see, who do you think is a stronger man? A man or a person? I mean, man means, I'm saying both man and woman. So a person who has arranged things in life in such a way that he doesn't fall in trouble, or a person who doesn't mind what happens.
The second person.
Yeah, yeah.
Who
So that's
doesn't
what.
mind what happens?
Yeah, yeah. So that God wants to make us strong. You accept that? Was I audible? I asked the question. God wants to make us strong. Do you all accept that?
Yes, Guruji.
Yes, Guruji.
That is not always true amongst the people of this world, because most people in this world might want to make you weak, because only then they can manipulate you. God does not feed on manipulation. Only a person who has no intent to manipulate you would want to make you strong unconditionally. Try to understand that. If anything is being given, Shruti Smriti Hare Rajna. Shruti and Smriti are all the Ajna. Ajna, samajhte hai aap? Ajna means Ajna.
Orders.
Yeah, order is a very bad word that equate order, Ajna, Ajna. Jna, Ajna. It's a very beautiful word actually. It can't be fully translated, but order is the nearest word that is there in English. What to do? That's a pity of the language. So it just I somehow I'm never satisfied with any of these words. For the word ajna, jna means from where you get jnana. So, it's a upasarga. So ajna, it's a very, very, very sublime word. So Shruti Smriti Hare Rajna. Now all the Shruti Smritis, everything that God is instructing us to do is to make us strong. And he instructs in the Bhagavad Gita, Nirdvandvo Nitya Sattvastha, how to perform our duties. Krishna is saying, perform your duties in a state of mind that is Nirdvandvo Nitya Sattvastha, Niryoga Kshema Atmavan. Don't worry about your Yoga Kshema. What's Yoga Kshema? Yoga Kshema,
Well-being would be a loose word.
well being. Yeah. Now people want to know, no, so what is duty? What is our duty? Your duty is that doing which you wouldn't have to worry about your well-being. Not because you have made arrangements for your well-being. Please don't misunderstand like that. It's not that you have taken a job that gives you a huge bank balance and that is why you're not worried about a well-being. Even a person with a huge bank balance would have to worry about his well-being because he could be gripped by any disease. If you're doing what you're designed to do, you would never have to worry about your well-being because God will take care of your well-being. Now that's the way to go. The whole world is misguided because they are not in that state. Everybody is freaking worried about his well-being. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, Guruji. Means is it direct promise from Vishnu himself to his pure devotees?
To
Like, is it the direct promise from Vishnu to his pure devotees for his well-being?
yeah, pure devotees. Yeah, what? The ultimately only pure thing exists. He's saying that swadharma, duty. Everyone has to do what he is designed for. The animals do that without choice. The human beings have to make a choice and choose to do what they have to. A human being would be required to understand what he is meant for. The animal, on the other hand, need not understand. Even if it does not understand, it is wired by nature in such a way that it will conduct itself in such a way that it won't diverge from what it's designed to do. The human being, on the other hand, will go tangent. He will miss the path if he doesn't well understand. Human life is based on understanding. Manushya, mananat manushya. Manana, because he is expected to understand. Only when you understand what is your design, what is your duty, when you sense that, and that sense is greater than any amount of scholarship. And when you sense, only it is then that you will not swerve from what you're designed to be. You will not naturally gravitate, you will not just gravitate and be fixed in a disposition that you are designed to be. The human being has a lots of chances to deviate from what he is designed to be. And you will know it because that'll make you weak. That'll make you weak. And that's why humanity today is bogged down by weakness. We are weak today because we have left our swadharma. That makes for weakness. It's not bad to be injured, it's not bad to die, but it's bad to be weak. That smells of misunderstanding. So human being is supposed to understand what is his swadharma. So Krishna says, and when you get what is your swadharma, the nature of your engagement with swadharma, when you engage in your swadharma, that will make you not mind what happens. That'll keep you in a state of mind. It's called samadhi. It is called brahma karma samadhina. Brahmarpanam brahma havihi brahmagnau brahmana hutam brahmaiva tena gantavyam brahma karma samadhina. It is called brahma karma samadhi. So when you sense that connection between with yourself, the design and the designer, and you see that consistently we have an unbroken vision of that connection from the beginning of time. That connection was not invented today or recently. That is something that has been around, and that is something that is the most firm. So when you are in awareness of that connection, There's no way that he will swerve. So a human being, when he is in that awareness, then he enters into a state wherein he becomes callous. He becomes completely, he doesn't mind what happens. It's not that, all these American movies are like, tomorrow a comet will come and hit. Then what happens? You will have to build a nuclear bunker underneath the earth. What happens if aliens will come and, storm the earth, and they'll be firing all kinds of deadly missiles, and all these aliens, emanating missiles from all holes of their body. How will that look like? All this paranoid mentality you will see. It's all because of these people. They are not strong, they are weak. A weak person would become paranoid like that. Do you see anywhere in the Mahabharata or in the Ramayana, anywhere where people are worried that some comet will come and hit us?
No, Guruji.
Or some will be plundered by some aliens? You don't see, because are they sure that it won't happen? No, but they don't bother. They don't mind, even if it happens. That is samadhi. And samadhi doesn't mean that you're sitting somewhere in a trance. You understand? Samadhi is somewhere, a person even maybe fighting in a war, or maybe you're grazing your cows. You might be cooking. You might be taking care of your baby, or you might be taking care of your old parents. You might be making love to your wife. You might be romancing. In all that, there is something called samadhi. And in that samadhi, when you are in that samadhi, you just don't mind what happens. It's not that you've got every bit of preparation to face every odd that could happen to you. No, you don't mind what happens. And when you enter into a state wherein you don't mind what happens, that's what Krishna is teaching us. Niryoga kshema, wherein you are not worried about yourself. Atmavan, and you're not worried about yoga kshema, but you are completely in touch with yourself. And you know that everything is just taken care of. You're damn sure of it. Now that is health. That is mental health. You're understanding? Any questions? Anyone didn't understand? Man, it goes against everything that you people have been taught all your life in the academia. Does it or does it not?
Yes.
Yes, Guruji.
Swamiji.
The whole definition of mental health has gone completely topsy-turvy, But this is what our Shastras are teaching us. And we need to learn it and become strong. We should not remain the weaklings that today's society and education have made us into. We are entitled to strength. We are having the responsibility of shedding our weakness and becoming strong by our connection with our Father. Aham bija pratah pita. That's why Krishna says, I am the seed-giving Father. Father means the strength. It's like strong. Strength comes from his connection. Strength, don't think that it comes from technology. No, it comes from the connection with the Father. Anything that means to take you away from the Father is not your friend, it's your enemy. It's being hostile to you. Anything it may be, anything which intends or which points in the direction that takes you away from your Father, that you understand is your enemy. That will make you weak. It may look like it's making you strong, but don't be carried away by what's apparent. Get to the core. Understand whether this is coming from my father. In the Bhagavad Gita, he says, Aham bija pratah pita, I am the father. People are becoming weak today because they're going away from the father. Sounds like Christian, huh? Our Father in heaven. But as far as any religion is concerned, if they really understood that God is our Father, that is a welcome step. Any reflections? Any comments?
Hare Srinivasa,
Yes.
Swamiji. Yeah, would karma theory be unfair without Swarupa, unique Swarupa, and Taratamya?
But karma is not a theory, it's a fact. It happens. And why is it unfair? Why? Because of karma theory without an understanding of Swarupa. Yeah, you will never understand karma without. And what is karma? According to Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself is saying, what is karma? In the 8th chapter, if you open the 8th chapter, Krishna says, what is karma? Anyone wants to look up? Bhuta bhavod karo visarga karma sanyitaha. What is karma according to Krishna? Just look at that. You don't need a commentary to understand that. Prajna, you can look that up.
Sure, Guruji.
Bhuta bhavod karo visarga karma sanyitaha. Just look that up. It should be
It's
like
third sloka.
third sloka. Okay, yeah, that's something. Yeah. Adhiyajno hamevatra dehesmin dehesmin. It's before that. Yeah. Bhuta bhava udbhava karo visarga karma sanyitaha. What is karma? Karma is bhuta bhava udbhava karaha. Bhuta bhava means swabhava only. So
And
karma, huh?
yeah, yes, Swamiji. Yeah, and
You
it would
got
not
that?
make sense without Swarupa.
Yes. So you got that? That what Krishna is saying, what is karma and how it is connected with Swarupa?
Yes, Swamiji.
Good. Now you think about that. You take your own time and think about that in your free time. I mean, you have to make time free.
Yes,
Hmm.
thank you.
Without an understanding of swabhava, karma would not it would not just make sense, it would be meaningless. Try to understand that when you say Madhva philosophy, it is not another group of tenets and another group of some beliefs and convictions that are some kind of a uh, cultish, belong to a certain group of people. It's not that. Madhva conducted what came from time immemorial. Whatever he saw is a hindrance for the flow of that awareness. He just corrected that. That's all. He never, there's nothing to see. The truth is self evident. You don't need to manufacture or fabricate the truth. What is fabricated is not truth. Understand this. The forces that intend to make us weak are many, and they will all guide us down the path of weakness. And if we are not in touch with the Father, we may as well lose our path. Okay, I guess this is contemplate on what was told today. Think about it. It's a very deep thing. If you understand what was told today, you will be light years ahead of where you are now in being able to understand what is Swabhava and what is the grand picture, what is the big picture in the design of God. Is that okay, Prajna? If you want to say something, please add.
Nothing much, Guruji.
But I think the lesson that was communicated today, it's quite profound, and if you understand that, it'll be of a great advantage to understand the Bhagavad Gita and to understand life as a whole. Okay. So, yas sarvaguna sampurnaha sarvadosha vivartitaha priyatam prita evalam vishnurme paramassuhrja शरीरचेष्टापि मम प्रणामः स्तुतिस्तु वागीन्द्रियवृत्तिरस्तु सर्वात्मनो वृत्तिरनुस्मृतिस्ते सर्वं तदाराधनमेव भूयात् श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु अच्युतानन्त गोविन्द अच्युतानन्त गोविन्द अच्युतानन्त गोविन्द अच्युतानन्त गोविन्द नारायण. I'll be logging out.
Hare Ram, Guruji.
Hare Ram.
Hare Rama Guruji.
Hare
Hare
Ram.
Ram.
Hare Ram.
Hare Ram Vishnu. Hare
Hare
Ram.
Rama.
Hare Ram.
So if anyone has any questions, they can ask now.
Harishanivasa Bhrata.
Hare Srinivas.
I wanted to know that what's exactly there in Pancharatra Agamas. Like, is there the acceptance of the 5 year avatar of Sri Hari or something like that? Like, what's the main content and purpose of Pancharatra Agamas?
So each agama basically has different sections, or usually some of them are divided into 4 parts. So each quarter or pada is one section dealing with a particular topic. So there's usually one section on philosophy, then one section on rituals, and another section on sadachara and basic duties, and another section on miscellaneous topics sometimes. So this varies with the agama shastra, but most of them, many of them follow such a format. So and some of them they are mixed also. They do not follow an exact structure like this, and some of them they just have a certain number of chapters such as adhyayas or patalas. So most of them deal with 2 main things, that is philosophy and temple worship, or the rituals through which one can worship Shri Vishnu in the tantric style.
Okay, brother. So it does talk about the view avatar of Sri Hari.
Yes, about Bhagwan's manifestations and his avatars also, it is discussed here and there, but you will find most of it in the Satvata Samhita, more than other agamas.
Okay, brother. Thank you.
No problem. Any other queries?
Bharat, I wanted to know what do you mean by the tantric worship of Vishnu? And many times it is said by many people that deity worship or the worship of Murti is not there in the 4 Vedas.
Yes.
Can you just...
Tantra Shastra basically is another form of worship used for worshipping Bhagwan through all these rituals which we see commonly done at temples. So in the Vedas, you won't find the mention of worshipping any Devata or even Bhagwan through the methods such as idol worship. It's not idol worship exactly, but you invoke Bhagwan through an idol or even through water, through fire. So in the Vedas, you will find a limited number of methods, mainly through mainly invoking him through Agni and certain other objects. But that too, more than that, again, that can be practiced only by the Trivarnikas. That is Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas. Shudras and the common women and anyone who is an Avarna is barred from that. So for the purpose of and also the Vedic knowledge is something which is not very clear cut, you could say, because if you see the structure of the Vedas, you can even now on the internet you can find many people, especially from Arya Samaj and elsewhere, who will give all sorts of twisted meanings and say that Indra is the supreme god and all that. So from that you can it should be clear that the Vedas do not have a clear-cut meaning directly when one reads them or learns them through swadhyaya or self-study. So to resolve that, we have the Upabrahmanas of the Vedas, that is the Itihasas and Puranas, and we also have the Vedantas, which provide more information and knowledge on their correct interpretation. But directly to get clear-cut knowledge and to have similar rituals and similar methods of worshipping Bhagwan, we have the Agama Shastras, or which is also known as Tantra. Because agama is a generic term and it can also refer to any shastra or philosophical text also. That is why in the Vishnu Purana also, in the sixth Amsha, in the translation which we released, we have mentioned clearly how there is a usage of the word agama for any of the sadagamas. Even the shastras are known as the sadagamas because again, agama means any philosophical work or something which has descended down or has arrived from Bhagwan or the rishis and the devatas, like that. So here again there are two types of knowledge, agamotta and vivekotta, one which we obtain from the agamas and another from viveka or wisdom. So anyway, coming back to the topic, so here tantra basically is it's another method of rituals and worship which is not the same as the Vedas, but is derived from the Vedas and is based on the Vedas, and this is open to all and has much lesser restrictions. So if you see the Vishnu Samhita, for example, it is mentioned that the philosophical knowledge and rituals of Diksha can be given to anyone who may be a woman, a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, or even a Chandala for that matter, or even a non-Vaishnava. So that is the main purpose of the agamas, and there we have all sorts of rituals which are not covered in the Vedas, and the same philosophical knowledge which is not directly available in the Vedas. So that's why Pancharatra is also one of the Sat agamas. Does that clear your query?
Yes, brother. And also wanted to know who is the author of this Tantra worship literature or the agamas?
For the Pancharatra agamas, it is Vishnu himself. That's why it is said in the Moksha Dharma Parva of the Mahabharata. In the southern edition, it is Adhyaya 359, Shloka 68, where it is said, Pancharatrasya Kritsnasya Vaktatu Narayanaha Swayam Jnaneshveteshu Rajendra Idam Shreshtam. There is a shloka which goes like that. So that basically means that the entirety of the Pancharatra has been narrated by Narayana himself. So that is why it is the best among all the forms of knowledge. So there is a mention of other philosophies also there. Pashupata or the Shaiva Agamas have been propounded by Shiva himself, and similarly the darshan of yoga was propagated by Brahmadeva, and Vaikanasa, which is another form of Vaishnava Agamas, and which is actually not in practice by us because that's a totally separate sampradaya, that was propagated by Vikanasa Maharshi. Does that solve your query?
Yes, brother. Brother, one last question from me. I wanted to know about the Aparoksh Gyanis. I wanted to know whether the Aparoksh Gyanis are already achieved moksha, or are they on the path of moksha?
Neither. They have reached the end goal of spirituality. That is, they would have attained the darshan of Bhagwan. If you see the first few chapters of the Bhagavata Purana, you will notice how Narada Muni describes how he attained Aparoksha Jnana. So Narada Muni himself and the Devatas are also, most of them are Aparoksha Jnanis already. So but they haven't achieved moksha yet. So that should clear your query. And yeah, aparoksha jnana is that state where one has something known as paripakva bhakti, which we discussed in the previous session. So there, that person is no longer performing or is bound by the karma palas, where the karmas they perform do not incur any karma palas for them. So they are free from those from the chain of performing karmas and receiving the results of them. So in that way, they'll sooner or later they'll achieve moksha once their required time on the loka where they reside is over. They will sooner or later achieve Bhagwan's abode. But they are aparoksha jnani doesn't mean that they have already attained moksha as such, because the mukta jivas are also aparoksha jnanis because they became muktas by first obtaining aparoksha jnana. Does that solve your query?
Yes, brother. And I also wanted to know, following this same question, that we sometimes see that in the Shastras there are mention of certain devatas doing certain actions which are not as per the instructions of the Vedas. Like uh, we see even Brahma or Shiva or even Vayu and even Indra doing sometimes certain acts which are, you can say, a papa kind of. How can we understand this
Brahma
event?
and Vayu have never committed any such acts, first of all. They are Rujus. And second of all, the Devatas usually they are Aparoksha Jnanis, and when any Aparoksha Jnani for that matter, even if they are Manushya's, perform apparent adharma, there will usually in 90% of the cases it will have some other reason for it, and they will be aware of it, and because of their complete detachment and because of their lack of adharmic intentions, there will actually be no adharma and they won't achieve those karma palas also. So maybe so in cases of those devatas also doing apparent immoral acts, it is simply because there would be some other reason, or else in the case of devatas it is sometimes due to asura avesha. So this has been discussed in the Upanishads also in few places, where the and even in the Taittiriya Aranyaka there are mentions of devatas opposing for example, once Shiva and few of the other devatas opposed Indra's yajna when Indra was simply worshipping Vishnu because he did not inform the other devatas. And similarly, there are instances where many of the devatas have sometimes even Indra fighting with Krishna for the Parijata tree of Swargaloka. These are all instances where these devatas they were just overcome by asura avesha, or in other words, as we discussed about avesha earlier, the asuras achieved control temporarily over the devatas. So the only devatas who are completely free from asura avesha are Brahma and Vayu, and the other Riju devatas also. So they are only completely free from this. And in the Chandogya Upanishad, there is a mention of this. And if I'm not wrong, this this is repeated in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad also, that when the devatas were using other devatas as a vibhuti of Vishnu to meditate on Vishnu as the antaryami of that devata, some asuras tried taking control of those devatas, and they ended up having asura avesha. So that ruined their prarthana. So in the process of that, they started praying through other higher and higher devatas till they reached Vayu. But till then, all of the devatas, including Shiva and Chandra, also underwent asura avesha. So the devatas could not properly propitiate Sri Vishnu. But when they used Vayu as their medium to worship Sri Vishnu, immediately there is a metaphor which says that the asuras were totally destroyed, just as pieces of mud thrown at a huge boulder are broken into pieces. So here, when the devatas commit apparent acts of adharma, it is only due to either asura avesha or because there is some other purpose for them, and their motive is not adharma at all. It is usually done against adharmis themselves. Does that clear your doubt?
Yes, brother. But brother, you said that Vayu can Vayu have a avesham of a asura?
That is what I just said, that it is impossible for Brahma and Vayu to have asura avesha because they cannot be overcome by that, as they are the topmost in the hierarchy. That's what I just said, that in the Chandogya Upanishad and Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it is mentioned how the Devatas noticed that they were totally immune to that, and when the Asuras even tried taking control of them, the Asuras themselves were destroyed.
Hmm. Yes, actually, recently I was reading the Ramayana, and in that I came across a section where the life of Hanuman is described, and in that it is said that Hanuman's mother, she was sitting at a place, and Vayu came there, and he saw her beautiful form, and he got Kamvasna, and he went and embraced her. And from that, it is said that Hanuman is born. Now, from this incident, somebody can derive that Vayu had done a mistake here because he obviously was married.
Which Vayu is that? Who is this Vayu exactly here? Did you see?
Vayu Dev, right?
Yeah, but there are
Same
many
name.
Devatas with the name Vayu.
Mm,
The Devata who is Hanuman's father was the Devata of the wind, also known as Pravaha Vayu. He is not Mukhya Prana.
okay.
Hanuman
Okay.
was the avatar of Mukhya Prana. He is not the Devata of the wind or the Panchabhutas, or because they are the lower Devatas, lower than Indra, Shiva, and all the other Devatas in the hierarchy.
Okay. Okay. I thought there is only one Vayu Devata, and I was not aware of the
There are
multiple.
at least three
Yeah.
Devatas with the name Vayu, and obviously, if the Vayu whom we call Mukhya Prana was the Devata of the wind, it wouldn't make sense to say he is Brahma's equal and superior to Indra, Shiva, and all the other Devatas.
Hmm.
So the
Okay. Thank you.
Vayu who presides over the breath or the life force of all living entities, including other Devatas, is Mukhya Prana. He is the Vayu who is said to be Jivottama. Hope that makes it clear.
Yes, brother. Thank you.
Any more queries?
So, brother, all devtas are not apokshagani, right?
Those who are in the posts of those Devatas are Aparoksha Jnanis already.
Okay, brother. But you said that some of the devtas are apokshagani.
I meant that immediately not all those jivas who have devatva will become aparoksha jnanis. Right now, almost all of them will be aparoksha jnanis because half of Brahma's lifespan is over. The devatas who wouldn't have attained the positions of the devatas won't be already aparoksha jnanis, but because their sadhana wouldn't be completed. But by now their sadhana will be complete, and they will just be waiting to take up those positions. So at this point, all of them would have achieved aparoksha jnana.
Okay, brother.
Brother, also one more incident in the Bhagavatam, if you can clarify. Uh, the incident of Brahma lusting over his daughter.
That
Is
has
that
been explained by Madhvacharya in his commentary. Actually, I'll search for that sometime and get back on this. There's a slightly long explanation explaining everything and how that is not meant to be taken literally as Brahma lusting over his own daughter. Actually, I don't remember the exact explanation, so we'll check that later and get back.
yes, Brother? Brother, also if you can share the part where the reason why Madhvacharya has excluded the Brahma, the Leela, where Brahma Vimohan Leela, why it is excluded from his commentaries, and why he has not chosen to comment on it.
That
You
has
can also
already
include
been
that.
explained by other commentators on the Bhagavata Purana, by Sri Veera Raghavacharya, Sri Vallabhacharya, and even Sri Sudarshana Suri, and few more Bhashakaras later during the recent centuries in the Madhva Sampradaya have also mentioned that, because it has been clearly mentioned that during the times of Sri Veera Raghavacharya and others, those 3 chapters of the Bhagavata Purana in the 10th skanda were well known to be interpolated. They weren't even found in other popular recensions of that time, and most of them knew that it was an interpolation. But that's what Sri Veera Raghavacharya himself states, that these chapters have been added by others because they're not even found in most of the recensions of the Bhagavata Purana we have. But still, we shall comment on these chapters and explain our Siddhanta. So similar things were stated by Sri Vallabhacharya, and even Sri Jiva Goswami also stated that, but he did not reject the authority of those chapters, and he said this is usually considered as an interpolation, but we will still comment on this. That's what Sri Jiva Goswami said. So other than him, everyone else has stated that those 3 chapters are very much interpolations.
Wait, brother, Jiva Goswami Pada has accepted that this is interpolation. Still, I'm commenting on it.
He mentions that it is popularly, he doesn't say that he is accepting that it is an interpolation, but he states that most others have declared that it is an interpolation. And Sri Vallabhacharya also doesn't reject the incidents of those chapters, but he states that they are originally not a part of the Bhagavata Purana, and they are from other Puranas.
Okay, thank you, brother.
We will actually make a detailed video on YouTube on this sometime. We were told to do so by other Madhvas as well. So there we'll clear up most of these. Any more queries? And any queries specifically about today's discussion or the discussions held in the last few classes? So if there are no more queries, I guess we can end here for today. We'll have the next session tomorrow again at 8 p.m. in the night. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Achyutaya Namaha, Anantaya Namaha, Govindaya Namaha, Achyutanandam Govindebhyo Namo Namaha.
Hare Rama, brother.
Hare Rama.